right. Hello, everyone. How are you today? My name is Veronica Ramos, and I am the Government Relations Director with MOB Families for El Paso. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to have a forum of the County Commissioners for Precinct 2 and Precinct 4, the candidates. And just to give you a little background about MOB, it was created by two amazing moms that grew up here in the Sun City, Layla Zayden Safa and Adrian Moody. They created this group with a mission to work with local leaders and bring more family-friendly amenities to our city. Ever since they started, they have been doing just that. And so I direct the MOB Get Out the Vote program, where we have registered many people to vote, while also increasing awareness of elections and candidates running for the local offices. So at the local level, we have advocated for more amenities at the splash parks, which brought over $1 million and got allocated to the splash parks. We also have helped to revitalize Escalante Park by fundraising over $1 million to build an all abilities playground. And we'll be celebrating our ribbon cutting ceremony at the end of this year. And at the state level, we were actually able to draft a bill that got passed in the House to make voting easier for families. And so without further ado, we're going to start our forum. We're going to give each candidate 2 minutes for an intro. We're going to ask them a question, give them about 2 minutes to answer, and then we're going to go from each candidate and give them a chance to do a closing statement. And then we would close it up. So let's get started. We're going to start with County Commissioner David Stout for Precinct 2. He is the incumbent. And then we would, and so go ahead and go, Mr. Stout. You can do your intro.
Yes, thank you. Thank you all very much. Good evening, Moms on Board. It is a very, it's a great pleasure of mine to be able to address you all this evening. Of course, again, my name is David Stout, and I am the current County Commissioner representing Precinct 2. And I'm running for re-election in this race. I've been in this office for 7 years, finishing up my second term. I feel like I've been a very strong and effective elected official over these past 7 years. And I'd love to be able to continue to build upon all the great work that my office has done. First and foremost, I want to let people know that I've been a very staunch advocate for keeping the county as efficient with taxpayer dollars as possible. I was happy to and proud to propose reducing the county's tax rate this year, as well as working to reduce University Medical Center's tax rate, which over which we also have purview. And other than fiscal responsibility, I've prioritized access to affordable healthcare, including mental health care, economic development, quality of life, and access to voting. Just real quickly, healthcare-wise, I've helped lead the county's response to the COVID-19 pandemic by serving on the COVID-19 task force and pushing for equitable vaccination rollout. Making sure that UMC set up that mega vaccination hub at the County Coliseum, and also setting up mobile vaccination clinics to go into neighborhoods. In my first year in office, I worked hard to help save our children's hospital, which will be celebrating their 10th birthday this next week that's coming up. And I spearheaded the creation of our crisis intervention teams at the police department and the sheriff's office. In the economic development realm, my office has concentrated on historic preservation and increasing heritage tourism in the area. We brought the creation of the Segundo Barrio Historic District and are working on one downtown as well. I also led the Census 2020 Complete Count Committee in El Paso, paving the way for our community to receive millions of additional dollars in federal and state funding for our future. And so I will stop there because I know we only wanted to do between 1 and 2 minutes. And so I'll wait for the questions, and then I have some more to share with you as I close out. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stout. So we actually don't have Mr. Soto right now. So we're going to go on to Precinct 4, who the incumbent was Mr. Carl Robinson. However, he didn't get back with us. So we're going to go on. We're going to continue on with Mr. Sergio Coronado.
All right, good evening, everybody, and moms on board. Thank you for this opportunity to share our candidacy platforms with y'all. Again, my name is Sergio Coronado. I'm an attorney by trade. I graduated from Canutillo High School, UTEP, and UT Austin School of Law. I've worked at the Attorney General's Office, the Prosecutor Assistance Division in Austin, and I was also Assistant County Attorney in both Austin and El Paso. And then I went out to a local law firm, Grambling and Mounts, and then I went out into practice by myself. And I've also, served as done community service, not just by raising funds for graduates of Canutillo High School and Northwest Early College High School, but I've also sat as an unpaid elected official with the Canutillo Independent School District Board of Trustees for 15 years, so 15 plus years actually. I currently serve as the president. We've brought Canutillo along to be, we're a small district. We used to be one of the frowned upon districts for students to attend. We are now one of the highest rated districts in this region and the only A-rated district, back-to-back A-rated district in this region. I'm running for County Commissioner Precinct 4 because I think we need somebody who's highly qualified and who's engaged and will actually show up. And that you're not getting that right now. I mean, I respect the incumbent. He's a good man, but the people and the constituents of Precinct 4 need somebody who's going to be there and who's going to respond and be engaged. I think I can do that. I have a track record of success with the Canutillo Independent School District. I want to focus on the environment, good government, quality of life, which is really the mission statement of the county. And their mission statement, they put out that, they want to protect the environment and promote quality of life. And quality of life, I guess one of the main things with that is that you want to bring economic development to the area, right? To raise the standard of living. And one of the things I really want to do is make sure that we establish what I call the El Paso Promise. It's will be fashioned after a similar program in Dallas. It's basically a free community college for students who have either not graduated from high school and are just, not engaged in their job and don't have any kind of career certification. We want to do is erase all those things that are keeping these individuals from continuing their education. So I'll talk a little bit more about that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Coronado. And then we also have Miss Sissy Bird with us. She's also running for County Commissioner in Precinct 4.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Dorothy Sissy Bird, and I'm running for County Commissioner Precinct 4. And because I'm running this to bring diversity, proven leadership, dedication, and commitment to our part of El Paso. And also, we need someone who will be there to be the voice for us. Currently, I understand that our county commissioner is not available a lot. I promise you that I will be available and will be full-time. My slogan is, I will be visual to engage. And the reason why that slogan was chosen was because I will attend meetings. I will be a part of the meetings. I will engage in the conversation. I will engage in the activities that concern our community. I have been volunteering in this community for over 20 years. I came here with the military 40 years ago because I chose to come back here. I am originally from East Orange, New Jersey. I came here with my 2 children who are Andrews graduates, both of them. My grandchildren went to school here also, and until they relocated. The reason why I'm running is because I feel that we need proven leadership. We need someone to be the voice for our community. Right now, our voice is given to an empty chair. So therefore, we need someone to represent us full-time. I will be resigning from some of the boards that I belong to because this will be a full-time commitment for me. So therefore, I hope I get to be elected because I will be there for our community, for the Northeast and the West Side, and all of El Paso, because at times, the different decisions that we will be addressing from the agenda at the monthly meetings have to do with all of El Paso. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Bird. So we're going to go on to the questions. Just a little bit of background as to what a county commissioner does for our viewers. Typically, they're in charge of building and keeping, caring for things like the bridges, roads, county buildings. They're in charge of public health, public safety, running elections, collecting taxes. They're also in charge of certain parks and recreation. And I'm going to go ahead and ask a few questions. For the first question to Mr. Stout. So MOB has worked tirelessly for 3 years, raising money to bring 3 all abilities playgrounds to the County of El Paso parks. Construction began this year in Fabens, Reisinger, and also at Escarte Park. How will your goals as a county commissioner help with family-friendly amenities at the parks, especially maintaining and revitalizing the parks in the county? Also, what advice do you have for the MOB members that want to be more involved in this process?
Great. Thank you so much. I'm really happy that you bring this up because I've been there from the beginning with MOB. I still remember the day that that Ms. Moody and Mrs. Seiden Safa came into the office and told me about this great idea that they had and asked if I'd be willing to support the creation of an all abilities playground within some of our county parks, especially at Escarte Park. As you all may know, I represent the area in which Escarte is located, and I was very, very happy to be able to help. And I know that it's been a longer road than we expected. The pandemic provided some delays, I think, with lots of things. But now I'm really happy that we're well on the way to getting those parks installed. We've broken ground on all of them, and as you said, by the end of the year, we'll hopefully be finished with all of them. I think that I'll continue to support these types of programs, this type of programming in our parks. What another project that my office spearheaded was the creation of our Parks Master Plan. When I got into office in 2015, Escarte Park was in shambles, and there was not a lot of investment going on there. I feel like once Western Playline left, it just went into decadence, and we sat down at strategic planning and asked them, and we asked the Commissioners Court, do we really want to be in the parks business or not? Because if we do, then we need to invest in our parks. And so, that was kind of the genesis of a lot of the funding that has occurred at Escarte Park. I've been able to secure millions of dollars over the last 7 years to create better spaces at Escarte Park for families. And this, this project that you all brought to us just fit perfectly into that plan. And so we now have a master plan that has some really great concepts that we're proposing, possibly an amphitheater. We're looking at closing down some of the roads in there that are open to vehicle traffic, to make it more friendly to families and folks that are walking and cycling around the park. I'm proud to say that today we actually approved doing away with the parking fee that has been there for so long. So we're making all these changes that are just going to bring positive things to the park, and I'm committed to making sure that we find the funding to pay for those projects that we're looking at with the Parks Master Plan. There's lots of great things coming. A festival area. We're going to dredge and redo the lake. Possibly have some restaurants and eateries, things like that within the park as well. So, I think all of this makes things much more family friendly. And of course, I want to continue to partnership with Mob and with partner with anybody else who's willing to come up with ideas, come up with innovative ways to bring more people out to Ascarate and the other parks as well. I mean, we have I think 9 or 10 parks throughout the county that are owned by the county, and we need to make sure that we keep all of them up and maintain all of them. For folks that want to participate or be involved, you can contact my office. It's 546-2111 is my phone number. You can do exactly what Adrian and what Layla did a couple of years ago and come into my office and make a proposal and tell us what you want, and we will work to see if that's something that we can do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stout. So we're going to go on with Mr. Sergio Coronado, who is running for County Commissioner in Precinct 4. So I'm going to restate the question. How will your goals as a County Commissioner help with family-friendly amenities at the parks, especially maintaining and revitalizing the parks in the county? Also, what advice do you have for the mob members that want to be more involved in this process?
All right, and thank you for the question. We do, and I agree with Commissioner Stout, and I'm glad that he has been active in doing something for the parks. I know, for example, the park out in Canutillo, Gallegos Park, it's just really, it's sad that the way the county has maintained it over the years. Trees, a lot of trees were planted and they weren't kept up with, so they all died. This is to the addition to the park, which is north of the initial park area, where they planted all these trees, and because it didn't get maintained, they didn't maintain them. They planted literally a lot of trees all around them, and they all died. I think maybe one of them survived. We need to do quite a bit better job. We don't really have very good amenities there at Gallegos Park, and I think we really need to put some emphasis in that particular park to make sure that we improve it. And I'm with Commissioner Stout. We really do need to do a better job. It's part of protecting the environment, and we need to have some green spaces, and we need to do a better job of maintaining our parks. And I'm glad, Commissioner Stout, and I hope that he returns and that he will be an ally that we can make sure that we maintain our parks and invest in our parks. One of the things that I would like to do is maybe if the mothers on board are amenable, I'd like to create a advisory committee that you all may want to serve on, and with other individuals throughout the county. I don't know how many individuals you all have that are from the east side or the lower valley, but I would welcome that, and y'all would have an open door. I think it's high time that we start really focusing on the mission statement of the county in protecting the environment and the quality of life. That's their mission statement. And I'm glad that Commissioner Stout's doing things about it, and we need to do more. We need to find, get creative with our funding. I know everybody will tug at Commissioner's Court, and one of them, people want us to invest in things and others want us to cut the tax rate. We can't necessarily do both, but we need to find creative ways of doing that and partnering with other local governments to do that, and getting the state involved to help us. So like I said, I welcome that. I'd like to do that and create this committee, and maybe we can get a committee countywide that can advise us on these county parks so we can maintain them and invest in them.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for your answer, Mr. Coronado. We're going to go on with Ms. Sissy Bird, who's also running for Precinct 4 County Commissioner. And I'm just going to restate the question. How will your goals as a County Commissioner help with family-friendly amenities, especially maintaining and revitalizing the parks in the county? Also, what advice do you have for the mob members that want to be more involved in this process?
Well, thank you so much. First of all, I would like to say that as far as the parks are concerned in the county, we need to pay attention to these parks. And the reason why I say that is because at some of these parks, the kids a couple of hundred kids every week are out there playing sports. There are no restrooms for these children. Let's face it, when moms have a smaller child that they have to take with them, Or sometimes in the community, you have to take the seniors with them, because if they are the caregiver for their parents or their grandparents, they have to take them with them also. And I think it's a shame when all of these children are out playing sports, and they need to have activities like that so that they can um, increase their friendship, their way to deal with different friends, be able to play sports that they truly enjoy. But the parks don't have restrooms for them. I have visited a park in the Northeast, and the only restroom these children can use is by going to the 7-Eleven, which would take them at least maybe 6-7 minutes to walk over there. If you are a parent out there with your children, that means you have to gather up all your children and take with you. And let's face it, it will be unsanitary, because when the little children have to go to the restroom, where they're going to go? Right there where they're standing. So therefore, I think those things need to be addressed as far as people with children. And I didn't say only women, because there are a lot of men that are single parents also. And we need to address the speed bumps. Some of these parks don't even have speed bumps where this will protect the children and the adults also. I think those type of things need to be addressed in our parks, because of so many families getting out. The pandemic has taught us one thing: to be out in the air, to be able to go for a walk, to be able to go to the park. And one thing about that is also is because of the disabled community, some things need to be fixed as far as the sidewalks are concerned, so they can take their children even to the park. So we need to address these issues right now so that, like I said, the families can enjoy the parks. And as far as the members are concerned, if I'm elected, I will be willing all the time to meet with you. I know you're probably meeting once a month. I'm not really sure how often you meet, but I think it is fantastic, all the different developments that you are addressing as far as the parks are concerned. Because let's face it, when you have young children, you take them with you. Everyone cannot afford babysitters or have family members that can sit with your children. So therefore, I think these things need to be addressed so that it could be a safer environment for our children. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Bird, for your answer. So we're going to take some questions from the group. So question.
Hey, Veronica, it doesn't look like we have any questions just yet. So if you want to go ahead and start the closing, that'd be great.
Okay, great. So we're going to go ahead and start a closing with County Commissioner Stout, who's the incumbent running for precinct number 2. And you can go ahead.
Great, thank you again for the opportunity and for the questions. I just wanted to talk a little bit more about you know, some of the things that we've done. I wanted to talk about the importance of voting and access to voting. We talked quite a bit about quality of life, which has been you know, one of my priorities, and the money that we were able to secure for Ascarate Park, and the working with you all with the All Abilities Playground at Ascarate and 2 other parks. We talked a little bit about the master plan. That's something I wanted to talk a little more about. That's an investment that we could look at, you know, up to $80 million in Ascarate and the other parks around the county. And I really appreciate the ideas that both Mr. Coronado and Mrs. Bird brought up. I think that they're both great ideas, things that we need to take into account and make sure that we do to have our ear to the ground, and also to make sure that these parks are as family friendly as possible. So thank you all for that. I also wanted to point out that the county will also be setting up its first digital library here soon. That's a project that I spearheaded, and I'm very proud of. It took many years of advocacy for that to come to fruition. We also have an immigrant services office now, which was at my behest. And so when it comes to quality of life, for me, it's quality of life for everybody in this community. When it comes to access to voting, my advocacy brought the creation of vote centers to El Paso County, which means that you all can now vote anywhere there's a polling place on election day. I think that's really important. You don't just have to go to the polling place that you're assigned to on your voter registration card. You can vote anywhere on election day, just like in early voting. When we have a number of early voting sites open, you can vote anywhere there. And I also wanted to let y'all know that I wrote the policy that created El Paso County's first independent redistricting advisory committee. And that was something I was very proud of. We had a really great process. We had, of course, an increase in population in El Paso County, and so we had to do redistricting. And I wanted to make sure that it was insulated from partisan and political influences, and that gerrymandering was not something that we did here, that we did not do what we call crack and pack people into different districts, and make sure that voters are able to choose who they want to be their elected official and not the other way around. And so I'm very proud of that. So, for this and many other reasons, I'm asking for your support. One last thing I did want to mention, it's unfortunate that neither of my opponents actually came tonight to talk about what they would like to see done, but it may be because they knew that they were going to get called out for running dishonest and unethical campaigns. Both of them are out there misinforming people regarding my position on public safety, and neither of them could be bothered to turn in their campaign finance reports on time, which is a violation of state law, by the way. Ms. Gutierrez has since turned hers in. It was not turned in on time, but she's turned hers in. Mr. Soto was provided misinformation on his first campaign finance report and has not turned in his second campaign finance report a week later. It's been a week since it was supposed to be filed. And so I just want to say, if people are willing to act unethically and dishonestly to try to get elected, imagine how they're going to do things when they take office. We just can't afford to go back to the days where corrupt elected officials dragged our community's name through the mud. And we need somebody who's ethical, who's honest, who's responsible, and who has great experience. And so that's me. And so that's why I'm here asking for your support. I hope I can count on your vote. If you'd like more information, my website is www.davidforelpaso.com. My social media is also, at David for El Paso. And we are going to be having a fundraiser coming up here on Thursday, the 10th at Power at the Pass over on Myrtle. If anybody would like to come by, we're going to be meeting with local creatives and talking to them about how we can create a better space for them and within what we're doing at the county. So thank you so much again for the opportunity, Ms. Ramos and Mrs. Moody, and I really enjoyed the time, and we'll see you all out there at the polls. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your closing statement. We're going to go on to Mr. Sergio Coronado, who is running in Precinct 4 for County Commissioner.
All right, thank you all very much again for this opportunity. One of the things that we really need to do, and I agree with Ms. Bird, our parks, some of our parks is really sorely need some amenities, including restrooms and lighting. I know the one here out in Canutillo, we really need some more lighting close to the street where the park abuts on Bosque Road. But aside from that, we really need to make sure that we have a plan to consistently maintain them. Because I really haven't seen, I've lived out here in this community for a long time, almost every time since the park was built, and I've really never seen a consistent plan to maintain the park. And it pretty much exists the way it was way back in the day. And so, sometimes the grass isn't well kept. We just need to start making sure that we invest in these parks. The other thing is, if we want to keep our kids here in this community, we really need to talk about, economic development and quality of life issues. And one of those things that a big program that I want to bring is the El Paso Promise, because what that'll do will work with what the jobs are here in this region and make sure we have trained individuals for that. So we'll work with the Workforce Commission, with local private entities and businesses, the school districts, all the local governments, to make sure that we address these issues and all these obstacles that some of our kids face, that are keeping them from going on to get a certification or a community college degree. And I'd like to do that with no cost to them, and fashion it after the Dallas program. One of the other things is that because I'm involved in this, that's my business, that's my career, is I see a lot of individuals who are particularly on misdemeanor probation through the justice and criminal justice system, that a lot of them don't have high school diplomas, or they don't have any kind of certification. And that's, one of the reasons that they probably end up getting into trouble. And so we need to know is funnel those individuals to this El Paso Promise program, and maybe work with both the judges and the probation department and the DA's office to say, hey, look, don't punish them with respect to any more financial issues. If they enroll in this program, that will go a long ways to making sure that they don't have to do their community service, don't pay the fine, as long as they enroll in this program and stay with it. I think probably getting them on the road to getting a good job down the future and a certification, will go a long ways to making them rehabilitated. So I thank everybody. You want to go to my website, sergiocoronado.com. I look forward to everybody going out to vote. And again, thank you for this opportunity. And we'll see everybody out there starting next Monday, early voting.
Yes, that's right. Early voting starts next Monday, Valentine's Day. So hopefully everyone can go out there and be ready to vote. Thank you so much, Mr. Coronado, for your closing statement and for being with us. And we're going to have Mrs. Cissy Bird, who's also running for County Commissioner in Precinct 4.
I would like to say, first of all, thank you so much for having me here tonight. And as far as my closing statement, I would like to say that if elected, or even if I'm not elected, I would like to work with whoever is elected to make sure that our parks and environment here in El Paso is functional to protect our families. First of all, as far as what Sergio is saying about protecting the youth, as far as keeping them off of the streets and keeping them out of the probation department to teach them. And we used to do different events here in El Paso, and we would bring the children. Well, they weren't children, they were young adults. Sometimes when you encourage a young adult to participate in different functions in the community, they would see a different light. They would see that someone cares about them. They would see that someone is willing to teach them to better their lives and to better their family lives. And I'm quite sure, as far as that is concerned, when we used to bring the children out with us, they seen how we cared about them. Even with as far as one of the organizations that I belong to, the Eastern Stars, we used to make sure we would do a bike giveaway to the kids, the young ones that will be on probation. When you show love, then they'll understand what love is. And as far as with our community, we need to address these parks and different things. But in November of last year, $1.2 trillion was infrastructure. And people don't understand that infrastructure is not only the roads. It has to do with the hospitals. It has to do with the schools, those different things. I don't know. I don't believe that the guidelines have been set for that money yet. And as far as who or when it will be given out, but I'm quite sure that the employees of the county, because I think there's excellent employees, and that is just by me watching Commissioner's Court. So therefore, I know they will be on top of getting that funding so that for the betterment of our community. But like I said, if we actually bring those funds to our community, then it will be a better place for all of us to live. So therefore, yes, I'm running because I believe in our community. I'm always out there volunteering. I volunteer a lot in our community because you never know when someone needs a little bit of help, and you could be the person that will help them. Just even tonight in my Lions Club meeting, we talked about a family that has picked herself up from being homeless, and we're going to collect donations for her. Those are the type things that I do in our community. That's how come I understand about a lot of concerns that we have in our community. And I understand what it is to be a parent with small children, and you have to take your children with you. So therefore, yes, my name is Sissy Bird, and I'm running for County Commissioner Precinct 4 because I care about our community, and I will work from the day one. And like I said before, I will resign from some of the boards because we need a full-time commissioner, because we haven't had a full-time commissioner as of lately. So therefore, please vote for me. And my website is sissybird.com. Please get in touch with me. If there's something you want me to always address when if I'm elected, please let me know. Thank you so much. And I truly agree with Sergio about bringing different programs here. I would offer myself to even help him. Rather I get elected, he get elected, because it is about our community. Thank you so much. And David Stout, I love you to death. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Bird, for your closing statement, and thank you to all the candidates who joined us today. We really appreciate you guys being here and, just educating our group and letting them know your views and who the candidates are. So thank you again for everyone being here. Please tune in tomorrow. We're going to have the candidates for the county commissioners in precinct 4, the Republicans in precinct 4, in our forum at 7 p.m. again. So
Can I say one thing before we close?
Sure.
As far as the voting is concerned, please, the ones who are doing mail-in voting, call the election office and understand the new law, that SB1 that was passed. You have to put the last four of your social security number or your Texas driver's license number on them, so they will not be rejected. A lot of them are being rejected because this new law came into place that a lot of people don't know about. Please put it on your application, and when you send it in, make sure your information is completely filled out and on it, or it will be rejected. And they will be sending you a notice about, they're supposed to send you a notice about how it was rejected because of that. But please put that information so it will not be sent back to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sissy. Thank you, Sissy. And, I commend you for wanting to stay involved regardless of what happens. I promise you that if you and I don't make it, I will be involved, and you and I can be together about making sure we make some changes. And I'm hoping that Commissioner Stout gets back on Commissioner's Court. I like the work he's doing. And so thank you, Mothers on Board, for this opportunity. And please make sure you tell everybody to come out and vote. And good point that you brought out, Sissy, about the voting for the mail-in ballots. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we appreciate that. Yes, we're always trying to educate our group members about how to vote and the best ways to vote, and make sure to get registered in time. So thank you so much for all you guys' help and your education, and thank you for joining us. And you have a good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Adrian.
Thank you so much.
Ramos. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Sissy. Bye, David.
Bye.
Take care. Be safe.